back to my channel. My name is Laura. I'm doing Top 5 Wednesday, and the topic today is my 5 books that I predict that I'm going to give 5 stars to. Now, I saw this on Lisa's and Smiles, Books and Smiles, and I thought this was really cool. But then when I was thinking about it, I'm like, wow, I don't give that many 5 stars to any books. The only books that I give 5 stars to are books that I have read the author before and I really enjoyed the books. So I have 5 books that I read authors before, and I'm hoping that I will like them, and I hope to read these. These are on my top of my TBR that I want to read, and I'm hoping they're 5 stars. So, okay. So the very first author is Heather Gundinkoff. I have read her one of her books and about a school shooting, and I really enjoyed it. So then, since then, I want to read everything that she has written. So the book that I hope to give 5 stars to is Little Mercies, and I've had this on my desk for a while now because I did read the novella that was before this one. And I thought it was a mystery thriller, and that's why I read it. But it was not. It was a contemporary adult. So I want to read this one, and it continues with the same person. So let me read the inside to tell you a little bit about the book. Okay. The synopsis is in the inside, not the back. So it says, a veteran social worker, Ellen Moore, has seen the worst side of humanity, the vilest acts one person can commit against the mother. She is a fiercely dedicated child's advocate and devoted mother and wife, but one blistering summer day, a simple moment of distraction will have repercussions that Ellen could never have imagined, threatening to shatter everything she holds dear and trapping her between the gears of the system she works for. Meanwhile, 10-year-old Jenny has been living with her well-meaning but irresponsible father since her mother left them, sleeping on friends' couches and moving in and out of cheap motels. When Jenny suddenly finds herself on her own, she is forced to survive with nothing but a few dollars and her sweet smarts. The last thing she wants is a social worker, but when Ellen's and Jenny's lives collide, little do they know just how much they can help one another. So yeah, it seems really interesting. Yeah, so I hope to give this one 5 stars when I eventually read it. I have to finish my gnome, and then I'll be reading, hopefully reading things that I want to read. So this is the first book. So moving on to book number 2. Book number 2 is a sequel to a book number 1. And I read number 1. It was my favorite book. I don't know if it's going to top it. I have this thing where I read the first book, I give it 5 stars, and the next book does not live up to the first book. So the book that I read was The Girl in 6E. And the second book is called Do Not Disturb. It's by A.R. Torrey. Now, you have to like erotica books because there's lots of erotica in this book, but it also has thriller effect in here. So there's a mystery going on and there's thriller, but there is sexy time, so just to be warned. It is for adults, and yeah, but I really loved book 1. Book 1, I read in the summer, and I was sitting on the stoop, and I read, and I read, and I read, and I read, and it has a red cover. So I am afraid that this is not going to live up to the hype. And not going to live up to my first book. I don't want to ruin my first book. Yeah, so I am afraid to read this one, but I'm hoping that I give it 5 stars. So this is the second one. So let me just read a little bit of the back, because there is, it gives you a little feel of what the book is about. So it says, 1, don't leave the apartment. 2, never let anyone in. 3. Don't kill anyone. The rules were simple and I broke them. Now I must face the consequences. Everyone else must face me. Yeah, sounds really interesting, and I'm hoping that I like it. I'm afraid to pick it up because I don't want to ruin book 1. But this one has been on my TBR for a while now. I immediately bought this. As soon as I finished book 1, I bought this book, and I just haven't opened it up yet. So yeah, so this is my second choice. Moving on to book number 3. Book number 3 is also an author. Actually, they're all authors that I've read before. And this is the last book that I got to read by this author. I have read all her other books. All the other books I gave 5-star to. She writes historical fiction. And the book that I haven't read yet is Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Septis. And I loved her other 2 books that I read by her, and I had given them 5 stars. She does a lot of research when she does her books. Her writing style is amazing. I have not read this one. This is also about World War II. Let's see what it says on the back. Okay. Lithuania, June 1941. 15-year-old Lena is preparing for art school and looking forward to summer. In the dark of night, there is a knock on the door, and life is forever changed. Soviet secret police arrest Lena, her mother, and her younger brother, tearing their family apart. The 3 are hauled from their home and thrown into cattle cars, where they soon discover their destination, Siberia. Separated from her father, Lena embeds clues in her drawings and secretly passes them along, hoping they will reach her father's prison camp. In this dramatic and moving story, Lena desperately fights for her life and the lives of those around her, but will love be enough to keep her alive? So yeah, sounds really amazing. I like to read books about World War II. I can't read them all the time because they are depressing, but I do read World War II books a lot. So yeah, so I'm hoping to read this one very soon. So that's book 3. Book 4 is another author by, and this one is an old one that I didn't know I had, and I found it on my shelf, and I'm like, oh, I didn't read that one yet. My favorite author is Leah Morty, and the book that I haven't read yet is 3 Wishes, and I don't know what this one's about at all. I just purchased it because I loved her other books. So yeah, the book that I loved, that I read the first by her, is What Alice Forgot. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, so I really enjoyed that book, and then I had to read every single other book that she wrote. So yeah, so now this one is the one I haven't read yet, and let's see what this one's about. So, Lynn, Kat, and Gemma Kettle, beautiful 33-year-old triplets. Oh, I have to read this book. Seem to attract attention everywhere they go. Together, laughter, drama, and mayhem seem to follow them. But apart, this is dealing with her own share of ups and downs. Lynn has organized her life into one big checklist. Kat has just learned a startling secret about her marriage, and Gemma, who bolts every time a relationship hits the 6-month mark, holds out hope for lasting love. In this wise, witty, and hilarious novel, we follow the Kettle sisters through their tumultuous 33rd year as they deal with sibling rivalry and secrets, revelations and relationships, unfaithful husbands and unthinkable decisions, and the fabulous, frustrating life of forever being part of a trio. So, yeah, I thought it was about triplets, but I was guessing. I had no idea. And yes, I haven't read a triplet book yet. So, yeah, I definitely want to read this one, and I hope I give it 5 stars. So, yeah. So that's that one. Okay, the last book that I have today is another author that I have read before, as I said. And this one I picked up because I love the color purple. I have read his books before, and I love that he's fast-paced, and I love that. So the book that I picked up is this one, Crazy House, and I'm pretty sure it takes place in an asylum, so it's mental illness, and I'm hoping it's fast-paced, and yeah, the cover is amazing. I picked it up because it's purple. It's my favorite color. So let's share what this book is about. There's a little bit of a blurb on the back. It says, "This is the craziest story you will ever read. Becca, 17, disappeared one morning on her way to school. Everyone from her town, including her twin sister, is desperately searching for Becca." Twins? I love reading about twins. Okay. "They won't find her. Becca is being held prisoner in the crazy house. Becca is on death row, which is totally crazy because Becca is completely innocent. No one has ever gotten out of the crazy house alive. And there's always a first time." So, yeah, this seems amazing. It's about twins. I love reading about twins. So, yeah, I'm hoping that I give this one 5 stars. So, this is also written by Gabrielle Charbonnet. Yeah, and it's James Patterson. I guess he helps other writers write his books, because I've noticed that a lot of the books are James Patterson, but then also another author. So yes, he must edit it or help them read it, help them write it, or whatever. But yeah, so that's the 5th book. So these are my 5-star predictions. Hope I can lift them. Here we go. Yeah, all authors I've read before. I love their writing style, and I'm hoping that these are my 5-star predictions. So we'll see if I could read these in the next, let's see, not April, May, June, and July. I'm hoping to read these and come back and tell you if I like them or not. So yeah, so that's my 5-star predictions. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I enjoyed these books, and I will see you in another video. Bye.